So after that center meeting, Chris, my brother, Dave, we started having Bible studies in our house. And some of our high school and junior high friends came to the Bible studies. Other Christians came. That was rare, but that did happen. But our Bible studies would average around 10, 8 to 10, every Tuesday night or Wednesday night we'd have Bible studies. Sometimes my mom would sit in. But we would make it to center meetings, and sometimes Stewart would give them. Sometimes Chris Blaze would lead the meeting. Sometimes Dave Rosetto. And, here am I giving full names now. In any event, things were good as far as I knew. We in Woodbridge didn't live in, and so our contact with live-in brothers and sisters was infrequent, and our contact with Stewart was infrequent. So as far as our Christian life, we got a couple of years before moving in of just being Christians away from the fellowship. Now, moving into the fellowship was a different story. Stewart used to treat me and my brother fairly well. He at one time likened me to Glenn from Montreal, and I honestly don't see there to be a real similarity between Glenn and I. Just our demeanor and temperament are different. But I don't know what he was trying to just impress me or make me feel accepted or loved or honored or whatever it was. But I moved into Montreal Fellowship, and Stewart's treatment all the way up was fine till I moved in. Montreal, he seemed to be a little bit sort of impatient with me. I stayed there a month, and then started the Boston Fellowship with Lou, Lisa, and Jeanette. After a month, I didn't see this really happening or going anywhere, and I was starting to fall apart, I think, by then. So Stewart had me come to Philadelphia, to the Lamb House, and that's when things changed for me. His treatment of me, I was no longer a star or an up-and-coming. I was a uniter brother up until then, and then I wasn't. So things fell apart, and for the next couple of years, I barely made it to the Young Sheep House. They had standards, and they only took the best first. And then there was a second tier, and there was a third tier. I was labeled a wayward sheep, which, again, those that were in understand that, for the young sheep, that was, you barely made it in to the place. So then I began my young sheep years. I was in from 1980 to 84. Young Sheep House was 81 to part of 3 maybe, but last part of my time in C.O.B.U was 83, 84. Left from Philadelphia, went to the Young Sheep House, left there twice, came back, and eventually ended up in Philly. But the reason why I left is my brother Dave already left from Pittsburgh. My brother Chris was in, but he was just kind of in. I wouldn't say he was, really buying into the program very much in the later years. So I just saw no future. I just saw myself just no future, and with my brothers really not being, one being gone and one not even participating, I just felt like this isn't a place for me. So I left and began my Christian life all over again. And that's another story. That's a personal testimony, which maybe I'll cut a video on that, but that takes you into a whole different thing with me. But I started a website in 1989, and 1998,